Siso Koharem Kokwa, and this is
Lebo issues.
drum roll, please. Yes, we are talking about all the issues that affect us, whether we are related or friends or family. This one in particular. You know, I keep saying that the things that we talk about every day they're like this, but in essence, we are always talking about things that affect us directly or indirectly. But there's this one. There's this one. How do you know, Lebo, that you have let go of the past, or you are no longer living in that era of whatever happened, or certain things happened to you that you were not taking very well, and they just boom, surprises you and the loss.
So when we talk about the past, are we only referring to bad things, or are we also referring to good things? Because there are people who can just...
Yeah.
So that's where I want maybe clarity in terms of that, in terms of the past. Are we focusing more on the past which is not good, or are we including even the one where it's good? Because you do find cases where there's some people where things used to be and they want to still stay in that while the current situation might not be the same. So which one are you referring to?
I think I am referring to the one that you would want to forget.
Okay. The painful one.
The painful one. I mean, nobody wants to forget a good time. Nobody wants to forget that time when they got so wasted that they had fun, they had the time of their lives. The unfortunate part about that is there's usually parts of that we would want to forget, So life happens like that. We need to take everything with a pinch of salt. But I want us to talk about those ones that you can't seem to let go of, and they are hurting you. So we're trying to find out, what does it mean for you to be able proudly to say, I have moved on from my past. I have learned a couple of lessons from that, and I think I'm moving on from that.
I think once you can get to a point where you're saying, I've moved away from the past, it's when it no longer affects you. It no longer hurts you. Because remember, you cannot forget the past. So there's a difference between forgiving the past and forgetting it. I don't think it's easy for anybody to forget whatever happened to them. But you can get to a point where you can forgive that particular situation, or let it heal you, in a sense that even when you think about it now, or you get triggers about whatever happened in the past, it does not hurt you anymore, Even when you are sitting and you are to relate a painful story, it does not seem to hurt you. You're just relating the story. It's not in a point where you're relating the story and your emotions get so worked out as if it's now happening again, like you're reliving the situation and it's happening again, and you are just breaking down as if it's happening now, even for the first time. Because you do find people where you find a person being so bitter and mad, and when you ask them, when did this thing happen? And then like 10 years, 20 years ago, and even to date. So for me, once you can move from the past, it's when you, because we will always talk about it. That's why they say there is no testimony without what do they call it, some sort of experience or whatever you want. So obviously you are gonna talk about it. That's a given, Not in a sense that you want to feel pity. Maybe you just wanna relate the story because somebody said something like, no, I've been there, this happened to me. But the minute you're gonna cry, the minute your emotions are gonna get all worked out, the minute that from before discussing the past versus when you discuss it, there's changes in your emotions, then definitely you have not let go of the past, or you have not moved from the past. You're still at it.
Yeah, because I think one question that a person would ask is, how are you dealing with your past?
Yeah.
You're right. Certain things, when they stop becoming hurtful when you think about them, it means there's progress.
Yeah.
It means there's progress. But the thing about the past is that it has its own, like you said, triggers. And those triggers are made by certain things which are still there, which are still developing in you. They are triggers because it means that thing is still there. It's literally like...
Yeah, it means that somehow you haven't dealt with it. Because you do find people like, no, I no longer have issues with trust again, I'm fine. And one little thing, then it's like a huge thing. And you're like, why? Then always it shows that these other hidden things that that person did not deal with them. So
yeah, I think the concept of the past is that it's been misunderstood for quite some time now. When we're talking about the past, I remember watching The Lion King when that monkey hit Simba on the head, and then Simba was like, why did you hit me? I think people should go and check out that one phrase. When Simba asked the question, why did you hit me? The monkey said, it's in the past, don't worry about it. You know, he just hit him a couple of seconds ago. And that's what I'm saying. The concept of the past is that it's been known to be for 10 years, you take 10 years, you take maybe 15 years or 2 years to reconsider things and to heal from things. But there are certain things which will happen now. And it goes back to one of our discussions about how are you forgiving people. It goes back to those discussions where we say, look, it does not matter what happened. It's going to cost you more than it's going to cost another person. So when you wish to forget about the past, you don't know how to. That's the thing. Like, we don't know if I should just go out, face the world, and wear my brave armor and say that everything is okay, even though that I know I'm dying inside.
I don't think it's a matter of saying you're okay, but I think you need to get to a point where firstly we need to acknowledge that the past is the past. You know, it's got nothing new to say. It's not gonna change, no matter how many times we talk about it. No matter how many times you're gonna revisit the past, it's not gonna change. What's done, it's done. I think that's the first step I think I took, and I to acknowledge that. But me dwelling on to this thing, it happened. I can't reverse it. You know, I can, as much as it's unfortunate whether I'm to blame for it or I'm not to blame for it, but the reality is it's done. There's nothing. I think we carry a lot of weight within us. We want to blame ourselves for certain things. And once you take a step and acknowledge that, you know, things happen, man. Things will happen. Things are still gonna happen, you know. And when it's painful ones, acknowledge them. You can't act as if it did not happen. You know. You cannot be a victim forever. Somehow you need to move on from that thing. I will look at it and say, what are the lessons from this experience? There's certain experience that happens like concurrently, you know. And my belief is that the reason why it will happen every now and then is because I haven't dealt with it, or I haven't learned a lesson that I must get from that particular incident. You know, I'll give you an example where I was involved with certain type of people, and remember, I'm the common denominator, because sometimes we must just be realistic about that. I'm the common denominator, and I happen to be attracting certain type of people, which in the end their character was hurting me in the end. And I had to take some lessons from that, where I had to be honest and even change my level of thinking. Because indirectly, sometimes we do put ourselves in certain situations. And then when it backfires, then we don't want to take accountability for that. So if ever something happened that hurt you, you can't change it, but what you can do is try to take lessons from that so that you don't repeat the same mistake, you know. When you know you are in a relationship and you lost a person because you lacked, let's say, trust, where it doesn't matter what the person did, You just did not trust them. Eventually, it caused you guys to drift apart, and the other person moved on. You cannot again move into the same relationship with that type of mentality. How I don't trust men or women. They like this, and that when I see this, it means 1, 2, 3. Because then again, the same relationship is gonna be the same issue again. Where now you still something happens, and then you conclude, and then this person will also feel, oh, now you don't trust me. So what's the point there? So for me, is that there is some sort of lesson on the pain that we experience in life, no matter how painful it is. I honestly believe that there is some lesson. If ever you're just to take just an extra eye and not just focus on the pain itself and try to look at, but what am I supposed to learn from this? And the minute you focus on the learnings, you will see the reward so big that the pain does not even hurt you anymore.
That's true. So in essence, what you're saying is that once you have not learned anything from your past and continue to deal with it. It was. I learned the hard way. I figured that thing out. You were down with the matrix.
I don't know how many times it happened. I just no, but this can't continue.
But don't you think that the aura of what happened to you in the past is not, you have not dealt with it?
That's why it keeps on coming back.
That's why you keep inviting it.
Yes, that's why it keeps on coming back until such time I was hard fought. We can't continue.
We call it a day.
For the past, it's been like this. I cannot go with the other few years living the way I used to. Something needs to change, and when something needs to change, it starts with you, with dealing with it and acknowledging that it happened, it hurt me, and this is the last time. And now, how do I work myself? How do I ensure that I take lessons? I don't see myself. I don't find myself in the same situation again.
What's sad about finding yourself in a situation is that you are as much a contributor as the situation itself. So in essence, you have contributed 100% to the situation because it's yours now. You are wearing it. And what's sad is that it has turned people into monsters,
People don't even recognize who they are anymore.
Yeah.
And you will hear them especially when they are a bit tipsy. So it's not like this is what I wanted for myself, but you still chose it.
Yeah.
The thing that we need to recognize that we've got the power within us in terms of whether you want to be a better person or want to be a better person. And not everybody. And here's the reality: no matter how beautiful people are and how well dressed they look, or their fancy houses or cars, each and every single person's got issues.
Yeah.
The only thing that separates us is how we deal with issues. Some people use the same experience, their painful past, to elevate them, to make them better people. And then the other people, it makes them now the better part where you give up and you just. But for me, it's when the thing is, as much as the easier one is to give up and just let it go and dwell into that dark space, which is fine, but where is it gonna get you?
That's the $1 million question.
Where is it
what are you going to do with all that energy?
No, obviously it's gonna go to the wrong things.
Yeah.
But in the end, is it whatever you choose that's gonna help you to deal with the past? Because remember, that's a solution for them.
Yeah.
Remember, we choose different solutions with dealing with the past. For them is, I just wanna drink and forget about it.
Yeah.
Another person might say, okay, I will look at what are the lessons there and then work on it. But if ever you choose something that's gonna make you forget, tomorrow you're gonna wake up. It will still be there, and now it's gonna still be there, added with other stuff that you're gonna regret because you've added on top of that. So whatever you choose in terms of, I won't say there's a direct solution in terms of how to let go of the past, but because we are different, we can choose certain things. Some other people will just you disappearing, finding yourself doing new hobbies, doing this, just finding yourself, then somehow it helps them. So I don't think there's like a trick, do this, do that.
Mm.
But one thing people need to understand that whatever solution you choose, it must be beneficial to you as a person, not to other people, because you are the one who is faced with the consequences of whatever happened in the past. And you are the one who's still gonna live with that thing forever. So if you're gonna keep them and be bitter and be this angry person and you think it's serving you, go ahead, don't blame anybody. But if ever somebody's gonna stand up, popote, and move on and fight and say, I'm not gonna be defined by this thing, I know who I am, I'm beautiful and wonderfully made, I'm strong, I'm unique, I'm this, I'm that, and they don't let those incidents change them, then anybody can do it. I honestly don't think that, because some people, like I said, you look at a person and you think they've got it all together. It's just a matter of choice, and we all have choices. Like the choice, they are packaged. Okay, these ones are specific to this person. These ones are. We all have the abilities in us to deal with whatever challenges that we come across with. And I honestly don't believe that God will give you something that He thinks that you will not handle.
Yeah.
Yes, I said it. God does give challenges.
As
much as people, there's a say about challenges, but really, no.
I think we need to leave that mentality of look, we are not disputing the facts that you might know, that you might see, but leaving a mentality of people dealing with you
on everything.
We're
not saying that doesn't happen, but not on everything.
Yeah, but they can deal with you, those ones. But what we're saying is that we're not disputing that. Yes, I think, Lebo, from what you are saying, I'm taking that substance cannot help you release or heal from the past. There are certain ways of people dealing with certain things that have hurt them. Some people go shopping, some people go on trips, some people go drinking and partying and all those things.
Even being involved, like sexual.
Some people will just decide to move on.
But I think, let's just put it that way and not categorize it. Anything that is a short-term fix, it's not a solution. It's not a fix.
It's not a fix.
Anything that is short-term.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction for now.
It's a distraction from the real problem that is on the table. And I've realized that out of everything that you can do, nothing external will assist you. Everything that you need to deal with your past is inside of you. And that's the fun part about it, because when you look at the mirror, you are directly looking at the person who can be in a better position to deal with whatever situation they are facing. True. How? Lebo said you need to first understand, who is this person? Why are you finding yourself in that situation? Why are you saying it's in the past? What happened? Because you need to understand, your mind needs to process everything as if it was you, or you were being interviewed and you're being asked questions. We need to have discussions with ourselves. We need to sit down and say, look, this is what I did. Let's say in a case of a relationship, what happened? Why did that relationship end? How did it start? Not even who's wrong, but what happened? Because the moment we try and find somebody that you can blame, you are moving away from solving a problem. So as I'm saying, everything that is external has got limited chances of helping you. Rather use your own mentality and then look at things. Because once you say that you need help, it means yes, you need help. It means you need help, and you need to admit that you need help. We were talking about it just the other day, that you need to be able to accept. You need to be able to accept help, even though it might come better, but you need to accept it, because you are not going to love or like the answers that you are going to be getting, and that's the sad part. Like, we can sit here and tell you, but you are wrong. I am your friend, but you are wrong. Don't you think maybe you should have dealt with the situation differently? Don't you think maybe you should have done 1, 2, 3, 4 differently? Why would you do things like this where else you know very well that they will cause you 1, 2, 3? There are those friends of yours, I'm sure you've heard them. Those friends, they will come to you having a relationship problem. You will tell them, look, this is what's happening with your relationship. Like, you are giving advice. And 2 days later, they are back together again. And I've realized that you can never tell somebody to leave somebody. No. You know, and that's how the past starts. That's how the past start. When you meet somebody that you've once known before and it was greet each other, you will see the types of energies that we release, of holding on to things, and we are yet to say it is done. It's in the past. It's whatever. I'm looking forward to what the future holds for me. I think that's the mentality we need to move with.
But once they say, there's this thing that I liked, I think Matia said it in one of her movies, where you're saying that, okay, like you're saying, whatever, it's in the past. But if ever you were to be given a chance to do some sort of revenge on that person of the past, will you take it or leave it? If ever you take it, then clearly you haven't let go of the past. But if ever if ever you leave that offer and just let it go, then clearly you've healed from it. So
even the choices you made in the past, right?
It does, and you know what? It's okay to make mistakes. I think we beat ourselves too much.
Yeah.
We beat ourselves based on what the ideal life you thought you're supposed to have versus what
the social
you're
media
experiencing, versus what you're experiencing. And even the pressure from the family, the siblings, those are the challenges, and your own dreams in terms of that's where I want it for myself. But we just need to be forgiving towards ourselves before you can start with anybody else, whether it's your fault or it's not your fault for that past to be as hurtful as it is today. But as much as you are justified to feel the way that you're feeling, we're not disputing that. It's painful, it hurts, but don't stay there forever.
Move out.
Move out. It's not serving you, it's killing you. It's killing you so slowly, and you don't, and I'm sure you can realize it, because then tomorrow you'll be wondering, but why are people like this? Why this, and you forget that you might be the root cause of everything that's now happening, because these are the consequences of now how you chose to deal with the past.
Wow, this is actually very. I'm starting to realize how sickening this can be for somebody to be able to detox themselves of whatever happened 5 minutes ago, an hour ago. If you would listen to the people who have lost millions of money talking about, I lost 10,000 rand, I lost R1 million because I trusted this individual, because I trusted this scheme. People are still hurting from that.
But at that point, Spoo, you did not know it was going to turn out the way that you
Because if you knew, you didn't come on.
Exactly, we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
You did not know. I think we might just give yourself the benefit of the doubt that, you know what, based on the information that I had at that point in time, I was in the right, I thought I was doing the right thing. Based on those resources. Obviously, if ever you knew this was going to backfire, you're not going to do it.
You will not.
So, console yourself that what I know now, I did not know back then. When I started and agreed to date this person, I gave him a chance. I did not know that they had this particular character that they revealed on a later stage. You did not know, and it's okay not to know. You discovered, that's fine. So now, since you discovered, how best are you gonna work with this thing so that it can make you a better person? People are better out there.
Yeah.
Like people are. I'm saying this thing because I nearly got to a point where, and I could see that, but this is not label. This is not me. And I think we just need to have an honest conversation with yourself and look at yourself as to, am I happy with the person that I am? This person who abanza shouter, always, on the edge. Every time people must work around you as if they're working on eggs because you're gonna
snap.
Anytime. Get to that, and if ever you get to a point like, but I was never like this. Why am I now this person that take a moment, look at the root cause as to why are you like this and deal with it, because you cannot let circumstances and situation change you to be your worst enemy, because in the end you are your worst enemy. So letting go, it's not for anybody. You're not doing anybody a favor. You're doing yourself a favor by letting go of the past.
Yeah, I mean, lastly for me, I think I've learned quite a lot. I'm going to give you an example. So this past week, I was requested to come and assist a couple of gentlemen. They were having a car problem. I used to have a blue car, very old car. It's old school. I used to love that car. So it gave me mechanical issues. It gave me a lot of mechanical issues, like a lot, like 10,000 worth of mechanical issues. And I went to this guy, this mechanic, that one, trying to resolve the issue. Okay, cool. So with that came a lot of experience on how to deal with, not with every car. I'm not a mechanic, but there was a light bulb that went on.
Okay.
So now they opened the bonnet of the car, and I looked inside and I said, no, but this could be the problem. And they were quite surprised that all the mechanics they went to did not diagnose that. And as you can see, that this is the issue.
Okay.
So for me, it says that, and our the most brilliant educator is the past. Why? Because that's when we made mistakes, and we said, hey, I will never do that again. But you can't say you'll never do that again if you've never been through it. So you need to go through it so that you can learn through it. So let's go out there and learn and take lessons from what happened an hour ago, what happened 5 minutes ago. If you were about to get an accident because you were not looking on the road, obviously now you will start focusing on the road, because what happened 5 minutes ago almost got you killed. And that's what we need to start considering. In fact, to say it's not all bad, it's not all gloom. It was all part of the lesson. We should not take the lessons to heart and say we are going to die because of 1, 2, 3, 4 that I'm dealing with. Go through it. It's in the past now.
And that's why they say it's a journey.
It's a journey, bro. You won't be able to learn. That's why we've got teachers who teach us every day. That's why we've got life that teaches us every day. Hey, life can be a bit rough sometimes, but it teaches you a lesson for survival. And you're going to learn that lesson up until the last hour. You are going to learn whether you like it or
Even
not.
other people, they still fight on their last hour because they're still fighting to be here, but maybe it's time up.
Exactly.
So that's why you'll find the doctors and nurse time to do anything to serve you.
Exactly.
Save you. So at the end of the day, it's your life, your choice, your responsibility. You decide, do you want to keep it? Is it serving you? It's not. But at the end of the day, you are the one who's dealing with it. You know the pain that you're going through. If ever you don't like it, deal with it. Well, if ever you like it, then good for you.
You see what she did there? If you like it, good for you. But we need to learn that it's not all dark and blue. It's not all boom. It's not all gone. We don't necessarily need to go into a coma because of what happened in the past. It might be different. We might not understand what you're going through. But I think at some point in your life, you will learn that you've learned a lot from what happened. That's why we've got allergies. Some people don't eat peanuts because they know.
But here's the other thing, like people, when they go through stuff, we get to that space where you think you're the only one who's going through these things. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to anyone.
And that's how we limit it. No?
That's how we limit it. Take a moment and look at other people. Look at, even if it's not your close friends, even your neighbors. I was telling the other person the other day, I was like, no, I don't have a job, and this, and they were complaining. And recently they got a job. Ne? It's not as fancy, it's not whatever. Somebody just offered, hey, I've got this thing going on, come help me. And now, because sometimes God doesn't always answer according to our expectations. Ne? And then now, just because you're not getting exactly the way you wanted, it does not mean it might not be a way for you to heal from it. So it's not, you're not the only one. And if you were to look at other people, maybe your situation is not as bad as it might seem right now. If ever you to start looking at the lessons, if ever you to start at other people, inconsole. There are other people, for example, who lost their houses, and they don't have help. Well, now currently you've got a roof over your head. You've got a place called home. You can go to your parents' house. Yes, it might not be all peaceful where you all laughing the whole day, but at least you've got certain things that another person does not have. So I think the reason why we can't let go of the past quite a lot is that we focusing too much on those things instead of looking at the positive or the good that are happening. So chances are, out of 10 things good going on in your life, you'll find that 2 from 10, maybe 2 are not going well, but you've got 8 that's going on. But you're focusing too much on the 2 that you fail to see the other 8. But if ever you're to focus more now and shift it and appreciate more the other 8, you will see that actually that 2, that past, that helpful thing is not that bad anymore. So it becomes bad because now you forgot about all the other things. You're focusing only on this one thing, and now your life is dependent on one aspect of your life, while there's another million going on that you can appreciate and make the best of it right now.
Whoa! And that's how she ends this discussion.
What do you mean she? We?
No, I'm saying on that note.
Okay.
That's how she ends on that note.
Basically saying I should stop talking.
Yeah.
I still want to talk. I'm kidding.
Yeah, she can talk all day. Trust me. It's lovely when we both heal from whatever it is that is dealing with us. Because we have people that are around us that love us, that would want us to be better at whatever decisions that we took in the past. But I'll tell you one thing, you are better than your past. You are better than whatever it is that's come. You can beat whatever it is that is coming. You just need to believe those words. And
words, take some action.
Take some action on it, man, you know. Become intentional with it. Realize that you are not stuck. I used to live in the place where there was a lot of mud. I've learned never to go live there again. Because I got stuck more once than I couldn't count. But anyway, that's where we leave it for today. Thank you very much for being a fan and for being a family member.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.